Welcome back to part 8 of this Portuguese save with me, the Gobby Gaffer, and I'm with my second club now in Portugal. The first club didn't go well, got sacked, and I had to look for another job, and I ended up with Maritimo de Madeira. We're doing okay. We survived for my first season there. I did take over partway through the season, and obviously the board weren't happy with what the previous manager had been doing, and the remit was keep them clear of relegation, and we did just that with bells on, and I was really happy with how the season went. However, the squad was very imbalanced, very bloated. Lots and lots of players, and fortunately for me, a lot of them were out of contract at the end of the last season. So big changes. I've slimmed the squad down now. I've even slimmed the reserve squad down as well, because we just don't need that many players. Unfortunately, the finances have not got any better. They've got a whole lot worse, and I haven't spent a penny, honest. All the players I've brought in have all been on free transfers, but that bank balance just doesn't get any better. And the only player that I have of any worth really is the young 16-year-old defensive midfield player Gomez, and he's worth now about 5 million. So even selling him for 5 million, we'd still be about, I think, 3 million or thereabouts in the red in the bank. So the finance is not looking great, and at this moment in time, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to rectify that. Maybe another club will notice how well I'm doing with them, come along and snap me up and take me to, well, I don't know, France, Germany, I don't know, Belgium. But anyway, let's not talk about that at the moment, because the chairman might be listening, and obviously he wants me to get Maritimo de Madeira into the Premier League in Portugal. Let's have a look what's been going on. So I'm not going to show you the players that have left. We got very little money for them, even the ones that, a lot of them went at the end of the contract, so we got no money for them. And we did sell one or two players, but for a pittance really, given that we're about 8 million in the red in the bank. So I'm not going to show all of those. It would take up a whole episode. Let's have a look at what we've been doing now. So we brought in, 6 new players, one of them on loan from Toulouse, who looks a very good player, and the rest of them are all on free transfers. So let's start with a wide centre-back. And of course, Football Manager 2024 went a little bit berserk on the new fad for inverted wing-backs, inverted full-backs, wide centre-backs. So I'm making use of that, and I've tweaked it slightly. We'll show you that shortly. But making use of those wide centre-backs and, high wing-backs who are going to bomb forward. And this lad came on the market, and, as you can see, once again, we're cutting our cloth. A famous saying of mine, but if you don't have the money, you just have to take what's there. So I've done a lot of head scratching. Fortunately, I didn't put all of that on video because, well, we would have been here for a week. But anyway, I did a lot of head scratching, and this lad is a left-footed wide centre-back, something we don't have. Damien Canedo, 23-year-old Spanish lad, and he looks okay. He's not a world beater by any stretch of the imagination. 6'3", that'll be very useful to corners at either end, hopefully. He's okay, but on a free transfer, he's only got a value now of 95,000. So as you can see, like I say, I don't know where we're getting the money from. I'm just going to have to hope that the board either goes out and takes a loan out, or some benevolent chap comes in and sticks a load of money in. I just don't know. Obviously, we are still playing, through the middle. We're not playing with any wingers, so we do need quite a few midfield players. This lad can play, anywhere in the middle. Felipe Soares, 27-year-old Portuguese lad, and once again, most of these players are quite average, if I'm honest. There's nothing amazing about them, but they are better, slightly better than the ones that we had in. Because the squad, when I took it over, I think I did a very good job with what I had to play with. because quite a few players were looking at their options at the end of a contract. And when you get that message up, you kind of know the players are not very interested. So you tend not to play them. Of course, that reduces the squad size. But anyway, Felipe Soares, and central midfield player. He can play an attacking midfielder role, which is going to be quite important for us this season. We'll show you that in a second. So 23-year-old Argentinian Thiago Geraldnik, and he is going to play in that attacking midfielder role. So just behind the striker. Yeah, we are going to play with one striker this season. I know quite a bit last season we did play with two strikers, but to be fair, we didn't really have two strikers who played well together and had the experience. We were generally playing, well, I mean, when my main striker, I bought my main striker in last season and he got injured straight away. He was out for like 4 or 5 weeks, so I couldn't play him. So it makes sense really to just play with one striker. And this lad, we've played some games, we've played quite a few friendlies, and we have started well in one of the Portuguese Cups as well. More about that in a second. But yeah, again, you know, he's okay, isn't he? He's a good player, and from what I've seen up to now, he actually can find a pass. So anyone remember Lima from last season? Yeah, we had him on loan. We couldn't buy him, obviously, at the end of the season. He didn't want to extend his loan. So so I went into the market again, looked for loan players, and this lad popped up. Antoine Vala, 18-year-old, advanced forward. He's got 4 stars of current ability at 18. He's already he's predicted to be the best young player in this league this season. So, I mean, his stats are, to be honest, even at 18, he's probably one of the best players we've got at the club. Whether he's still a bit young yet and not got the experience, only time will tell. But we do have, you know, a really good option up front now. And this is a useful lad, a 27-year-old Dutch boy Kemper. And he's left-footed, which again, you know, is very important. He's 6'1", so he can play at centre-back if we want that wide centre-back role to have, you know, like two, well, options basically. We've already signed one left-footed wide centre-back. But he's primarily going to be covering there for the young 16-year-old Gomez. I can't expect him to play all season in that role. He's going to have a rest at 16. It would just be, well, it'd be cruel really to play him there. Although I'm sure he would want to play there, and he plays really well. But you can see him getting tired through games, particularly if he has a run of games, 3 or 4 games. So anyway, this lad, I mean, you can't put a worth on players like this who can play in a variety of positions. So he can play left wing back, he can play that left wide centre back, he can play in, I mean, you know, I think this lad will be very, very useful for us. And I think he'll get a lot of game time, to be honest, because he'll come in various positions. Obviously, my starting right wing back for last season was on loan and he disappeared. So I brought one of the young kids up from the reserve, reserve squad, and he's going to be back up to, I think it's Valdir, on the right wing back role. But there was injuries there, so I thought, you know what, it's a little bit flaky this, because I've basically got one experienced player and then a young kid. So I went out and signed Lasse Rosenboom, German, 24-year-old right wing back, 6'3", can play centre back as well. So getting 1 or 2 players in who can play various positions on the pitch, very, very important. And I do like his teamwork of 16. I do like teamwork and work rate, determination to be as high as they can, because I think that forms the basis of a very good player. You know, you add some physicals into that and some good mental attributes, and you've got a very, very good player. So 24-year-old German lad, Lasse Rosenboom, and well, that's it for the incomings. So a quick look at those financials. It's not quite as bad in the bank as I said it was. 7.3 million in the red. But, I mean, we just don't want it to be in the red, do we? So whether it's 7.3 million or 8 million, it doesn't really matter. But we are losing money hand over fist. And we need to start filling that stadium out every week and get as much money in as we can. Because in this league, there's very, very little money going prize money-wise. The original transfer budget, I'm just going to look at my notes now. The original transfer budget was 148,000. These were the budgets that I was given, and a wage budget of 63,000 a week. So I transferred all of the transfer budget into wage budget, and well, we've ended up with a 66,000 wage budget, and we are overspending that. Not a lot, about £1,000 a week, so not too detrimental. Dynamics looking much better now. So if you're a new player and you watch like the first episodes of this save, then I think you will notice that I did do something on the dynamics. And Diogo Mendes there is, I mean, if we look at, well, this top line here is 100%. So he's probably about, what, 82%? A believer in my principles, dedication, respect and teamwork. And, well, there's quite a lot of players following up behind. So, you know, the better we play, the more results we get on the board. And, well, the more these players buy into my principles, the better that will get. And it's like a chicken and egg situation, you know. You need one thing to help the other and vice versa. Just having a quick look there at the media prediction. So we are predicted with 3-1 to finish in 4th place. So favourites for promotion are Estrella, Gil Vicente and Santa Clara are, at the minute it looks like they're the 2 teams that got relegated. So those will be tough games for us, I feel. But to be fair, I mean, again, we will have a look at that in a second. But we have played some League One teams or you know, Premier League teams and done very well with them. We played one last season and did very well. I think we got well, actually, no, it was I'm telling a lie. It was Viz, wasn't it, who ran away with the league and actually got promoted. We beat them 1-0. So very, very good signs there. But 3-1, can we do better than that? Well, I think we're going to have to do, because I think this season has got to be a promotion season. With the finances as they are, we need to be in there with the big boys and try and get into Europe of some kind of, you know, flavour. So I'm classing this as the first stage of the rebuild now. We do need to get into the Premier League, but I think the first stage is done now. I think I've had to do more weeding out of poor players who were at the end of the contract, players who weren't happy. I don't think I've ever done so much weeding out. The squad now is looking a lot slimmer and a lot better. So we played a few friendlies there. So you have to, the League Cup is part of your friendlies basically. And the first phase, they call it the first phase, very fancy. And we played Moreirense, a 1-0 win at home. Quite a close game, that one. But we got through to the next round. And then the draw was made, and it was FC Porto. And I thought, oh, well, you know, we'll get a bit of a run out. And, you know, it's a pre-season friendly. Let's just look at it that way. We'll put 1 or 2 of the, you know, like the backup players in there. Because we ain't going to win that one. Well, let me tell you, somebody paid the referee. Yeah, I saw him hand the money over. So we got 2 penalties in that game, and we were 1-0 up. Got 2 penalties, and both disallowed, though. So, you know, the player was obviously, he was hacked down in the penalty area. It was a clear penalty, and the first one, the referee went to VAR, and, oh, sorry, no penalty. The second one, he went to look in the little box. No penalty again. So that potentially would have put us 3-0 up in that game. And I thought, here we go, shenanigans. And of course, as soon as we missed that, or we not missed, as soon as we weren't given that second penalty, Porto went away, scored the equaliser. It was 1-1. I feared the worst. But anyway, there was no extra time. It was 1-1 at 90 minutes, 90 minutes plus stoppages. It was 1-1, went straight to penalties. And this time, well, no cheating needed. There was no backhanders, no brown envelopes, no nothing. We won it fair and square. And we beat Porto on penalties. And, well, we're through to the next phase of the League Cup. Firenze and that was a 2-0 win. And then Moreirense, who we'd actually knocked out of the cup away from home, a 2-2. So we do start the league phase today, and it's a game against Chavez. And before we get stuck into a game, a quick look at the board requirements for this season. They want to play a high-tempo pressing football. They're pleased with that. Work within the wage budget, on course. We are over the wage budget, but not by a lot. So I don't think we'll get, a thumbs down on that one. Weirdly, though, end of the current season, they want to record a second league top half finish and be competitive in both of the cups. The cups, not too bothered about. If we can get to a final in one or two of them, maybe there'll be a little bit of money there. But I'm a bit disappointed about the ambition. A top half finish? I mean, what? You see, I don't know whether this is a glitch now, because here it's saying attempt to remain in the Premier League. So they are looking to be in the Premier League, but at the end of this current season, they want a top half finish. Not quite sure how that works, but anyway, if we look at the current season requirement there, that's a little bit unambitious. I would like to see us get promoted. Well, the Porto game in the Cup, and we had 7,500 fans in for that one. Record takings for this club of 215,000, I think it was. We're going to need a lot more of those this season to try and get that deficit in the bank down. And, well, where better place to start? It's a home game. First game of the season. It's Chavez. Can we get 7,000 fans through the door? I'm guessing probably not. But if we can get going, get a good start, get 3 points on the board, and the fans get behind us, then he may build up to that as we head towards the middle of the season. Okay, all the waffling's out of the way now. Let's get into some football. It's Chavez. It's at home. We'll see you in the dugout. Okay, a slight tweak from last season. We are just playing with the one striker and a diamond in midfield. So the team is Azevedo in goal. The new lad starts today, Canedo at the back. So it's Canedo, Mendes and Clayton, Empis and Valde. Didn't see an awful lot of Valde last season, but we're going to start with him, and we've also got the new lad that can come in to play there if he doesn't perform well. Gomez, the 16-year-old. He seems to have been 16 forever. I don't know when his birthday is. But the 16-year-old Gomez plays very, very well in that ball-winning midfielder role. We've got Fabinho and Indio in midfield. The other new lad, Geralnik, is playing the Argentinian, playing the attacking midfielder just behind Badji up front. So just having a quick look at the crowd there. I am going to be keeping a good eye on that this season. It's going to be as important as the results, really. We need bums on seats. We need people coming through the turnstiles, putting their hand in the pocket and paying the money. And can Badji squeeze that one in? No, he can't. And very, very close range there. The keeper turns it round the post. But we do get a corner out of it. Yeah, these finances are very, very worrying. I'm not sure what stage the board will start jumping up and down a little bit in panic. Empis now loses the ball on that side. The ball chipped forward there, but into no man's land. Okay, half an hour, and there's not an awful lot happening. I have gone to an attacking mentality now. Canedo, the new wide centre-back, plays the ball to Fabinho. And the new Argentinian there puts a lovely ball forward for Badji. And the keeper, I think, did get a touch on that one. I've seen that ball a few times in the pre-season cup games. That ball put forward there by, is it Gerald Nick, I think he's called. And chips it forward for Badji to run onto. Come on, lads, what are we doing here? What are we applauding for? Have we got... I have no idea what they were applauding for there. Okay, just before half-time, Empis now with the throw. And Gerald Nick there plays the ball. And it's in midfield now. We've got Gomez, the young kid, plays the ball back to Mendes. I don't mind this. I don't mind this. First game of the season, or first game of the proper season. We have played 1 or 2 cup games, which could be important for us. You know, the more we can progress in the cups. I don't know what the money's like in Portugal in the cup competitions. It is only the League Cup, so I'm guessing that'll be the equivalent of the Caribou in our country. Ball slid through there. Can we get that one in? And that looks like somebody's being clattered. But I've seen this before, and I don't know. I didn't see any brown envelopes changing hands before the game. But are we going to get awarded a penalty? Yes, we are. I mean, that's a win in my... Come on! That's a win in my book. Yeah, well, we'll go for Mendes, whoever the assistant manager says is the best at taking penalties. You watch this now. We'll go and miss this one, having been given it. Come on, lad. We've been given a penalty here. It's a win. Stick it in the back of the net. And he does. And Diego Mendes there, our defensive midfielder, come centre-half, which is what he is now. He played there all last season. And I think that combination of, being able to play in defensive midfield, but also being able to play at centre-back, I think it works really well, and it has done. He plays that on a covering mentality. So we're 1-0 up against Chavez. Badji having a very, very poor game by the looks of it. I don't know whether to bring the young kid on, actually. Hang about, I'm doing the wrong thing here. Pressing the wrong buttons. I can't talk and press buttons at the same time. Right, okay, we are going to say that we're pleased. Right, now we can go in there. I think we're going to bring, I think it's Varlet, isn't it? I just need to look at my notes again. Yeah, Varlet. I've notes all over the place. It's what you don't see on camera. I've got notes all over the place. Yeah, you all think that I'm a brain box, and but no, I have notes everywhere. Every now and again, I just keep glancing down at them. Okay, we're going to bring the young kid on up front, and let's just see. Yeah, I think we'll bring Boy Kemper on. The Boy Kemper. We're going to bring him on as the ball-winning midfield player. Gomez looking very tired once again, but he has played quite a lot of football. I think he played both of those cup games that we played. Played really well against Porto. Let's do that. 2 changes. We're winning 1-0. Let's see if we can take this to full-time and get 3 points. Okay, 65 minutes now, 20 minutes into the second half, and before we get a highlight, Fabinho is going to try his luck with a direct free kick. Keeper gets to that one, and I think he will. Oh, that's dropped by the side of the post. So a little bit unfortunate there. 2 more changes now. Collard has come on at wing back on the right. A little bit of buffoonery from the Gobby Gaffer. I didn't put Rosenboom on the bench. So my mistake there. We're having to play a centre-back at wing-back. I mean, that can't go wrong, can it, really? And Soares has come in as the Mazzala. So, again, another one of the new lads coming in there to play. Well, the only thing that's happening in this game is us scoring a goal. It seems a little bit of a bit of a damp squib, this game. I'm not sure what's going on. We have dropped into our cautious mentality now with the low block. Wing-backs are going to hold back a little bit. Made one more change. One of the young kids, Mal Harbour, has come on in midfield. We just need to shore up the defence now for the last 10 minutes. Hopefully come away with all the 3 points. And the game does actually peter out to... I mean, I'm not complaining. I just would have liked this game to be the first game of the season on camera. I would have liked to have seen us knock the ball about a bit and score a few goals. But the important thing is 3 points on the board, and that will do me all day long. And I'm sure as the season goes on, we will be giving some disappointed and angries out because, we're not going to play. Every game's not going to be a win, is it? And every game's not going to be a lovely football. So we are going to give them a delighty while we've got the opportunity. Okay, well, it's going to be a long old season. It's my first full season in charge of Maritimo. And, well, hopefully this season we'll do okay in the Cups. Maybe bring a little bit of money in. And, well, I'd like to see us get promoted. But it's a bit of a tall order that, to do well in 3 competitions. And, I'm only just about getting my feet under the table, and I have got quite a few new signings to try and bed in. Maybe that's why the last game wasn't particularly spectacular, because these players are like slotting in. To be honest, I have seen some decent stuff in the 2 cup games that we played off camera, so I know that we can knock the ball around. The new Argentinian lad can definitely find a pass. But anyway, it is what it is. We've got 3 points on the board. And I'm going to call it a day on this one because there's been quite a lot of waffling. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Come back next time for, well, we're in 2 cups and the league. We want to get promoted. And a bit of shiny silverware wouldn't go amiss. The Gobby Gaffer likes a bit of shiny silverware. We'll see you very shortly.